Later today, the 16th of November 2024, Madison Square Garden in New York will be set ablaze. John Jones will lock arms with Stipe, Charles Oliveira will do likewise with Michael Chandler, and so many other exciting pairings in the main card, the prelims, and early prelims. Anyway, my predictions for the main card are as follows. If you're a betting man, you better get your pen and paper. Mauricio Rufy versus James Luntop. This is the first fight in the main card, and it's going to be in the lightweight division. I call this the Battle of the South American Strikers. Mauricio is Brazilian, James is Peruvian. Both guys have never wrestled any opponent to the canvas, which means they prefer to stand and take heads off, punch holes in bellies, and shatter knee tissues. Mauricio also has a 100% takedown defense, which means it detests being on his back. Perhaps he is a Republican like Chael Sonnen, who said they don't entertain men between their legs and on their backs.
I'm not laying underneath a grown man with my legs spread on worldwide TV. Some guys subscribe to that theory, but I'm a Republican and we don't do that.
Mauricio will march into the cage with overflowing confidence, courtesy of a 5-fight winning streak. That's magnificent. This accounts for half of his total of 10 career wins. All wins were via knockout. He has endured the agony of defeat only once. James Luntop, on the other hand, will come to MSG heavy laden with 2 consecutive losses. This means every pressure as a third consecutive loss could lead to a sack by the UFC. How he's going to handle this pressure is left to be seen. I'm going to go with the KO machine, Mauricio Rufy, for this fight. Next, on the main card is a match from the women's flyweight division. Viviane Araújo versus Karine Silva. A lot of bragging rights will be on the line for this fight, as these 2 ladies are Brazilians. Viviane has lost 2 of her last 3 and 3 of her last 5 fights, all via judges' decision. This means she is not a bad fighter. She's not a slouch, but just lacks that extra factor to stay on the winning lane. Her last fight and loss was to another Brazilian, also surnamed Silva. I don't think she wants to lose to 2 Silvas in a row. This may get her motivated. But the big but is she will be up against a clinical performer in Karine Silva, who has won her last 9 fights all by knockouts or forcing submissions, except for her very last fight, which she won via unanimous decision. I just have to go for Karine Silva for this one. Bo Nickel versus Paul Craig. This is going to be a banger in the men's middleweight division. I'm really looking forward to this fight, and you'll soon find out why. Bo is a well-known, well-loved, well-decorated wrestler in the U.S. He has a 3-time NCAA Division I national champion, amongst many other accolades. He became a mixed martial arts recently and has since garnered an impeccable 6-0-0 record, mostly by forcing submissions. After all, that is what most wrestlers aim to do. This dude is also young, is brutish, is hungry, is 28 years old. Paul, on the other hand, is a 36-year-old Scottish jiu-jitsu machine with 26 fights under his belt. With legendary submissions, you just have to respect this guy's craft. You can see next what he did to former light heavyweight champion Jamal Hill and top light heavyweight title contender Magomed Ankalaev. This guy pulls opponents into his guard onto the canvas with him on his back. If you are on your back against your opponent, that's ordinarily a disadvantageous position and a bad look to the judges, but that is where Paul thrives. He ends up coming up with all kinds of jiu-jitsu moves from there. He ended up breaking Jamal's hand and forcing the referee to stop the fight. Magomed also had dominated Paul for most of their fight, and with 1 second to the end of the fight, he forced Magomed to tap out via a triangle choke. So this guy is dangerous. It's very dangerous. In short, this would be a battle of two crawlers, two canvas lovers, an experienced versus youth. I look forward to the ground battle. However, I predict Bo Nickel will clinch this. He's just much younger, looks to me like he's hungrier, and also seems to have an edge in striking. And he could just decide, okay, let's keep this on the feet. Yeah, so I go with Bo Nickel. Now we go to the co-main event. Charles do Bronx Oliveira versus Michael Chandler. This is a lightweight division fight. Uh, these guys have intertwined history. They fought back in May 2021 for the vacant lightweight title. It was very exciting with a lot of back and forth. Eventually, Charles won via a TKO in the second round and became the lightweight champ. The Bronx is one of UFC's iconic fighters and responsible for several records. He has the most finishes, the most wins via forcing submission, and most performance bonuses. He is certainly a future UFC Hall of Fame inductee. Michael Chandler is a three-time lightweight division champion at Bellator, a competing promotion to the UFC. And then he moved to the UFC from there. So he's a very experienced fighter. He's 38 years old. He's very explosive, very entertaining to watch. But my problem with Michael is that he gasses out quickly, usually after the first round or mid-second round, and is never able to keep up that boisterous pace he started with. So I need to see him out striking, no out grappling Charles. And I just can't see a path to victory for him in this fight, except it's just a bad day for Do Bronx. I got to go with Do Bronx on this one. Now to the main fight of the day, the heavyweight championship fight between John Jones and Stipe Miocic. It's just John Bones Jones. John Bones Jones, it is for me. I just can't, predict any other outcome, I just can't, So, you can see my last video where I spoke about these two gentlemen, these two incredible athletes, and what they've done in the sport. And I think it should give you an idea why I can't just predict any other outcome than John Bones Jones taking the day. So there you go, guys. You can step and go do your bets, and I wish you all the best. Ciao.